So, back in September, I was messaged by my good old pal, Arian, and he said, "Yo, I got the Wooting for free." And I was like, "Oh, sick." And I reached out to Wooting asking, "May I free keyboard? Thanks." And they were like, "Okay, make a video about it though." So after 3 long months of waiting, and those 3 months were grueling by the way, yeah, my channel was dying during that time, the Wooting 60HE became sort of irrelevant, but not really because the Wooting UU got released and 3PP records had passed by in the blink of an eye. I finally got it after so many problems with shipping I'm not even willing to deal with, honestly, and I partly blame the Philippine Postal Service for this, but who really cares when, you get it in the first place, right? Right now, Wooting is so backed up, it's insane, and it's just GigaChad, Sander Dekivit, and his team carrying the marketing and support team really well. So yeah, any problem with shipping is probably because we the Osu people are insane and are buying their products at a faster rate. But first I have to talk about why this keyboard is significant in the first place, and I'll do it in around 60 seconds or less, starting right now. Some guy named Apollo decided to say to the community that there was a hidden keyboard called the Wooting 60HE that speed players were utilizing in order to set insane scores. Top players got a hold of this keyboard that was apparently quote-unquote hidden, and immediately afterwards insane shit started happening. Like 1300 PP scores when there were absolutely none before this. This was because the Wooting's actuation can be customizable, and also because of a feature called Rapid Trigger, which dynamically actuates and resets your key. At least that is what Wootility says. This gives players a huge advantage when it comes to speed and finger control in general. After this incident, the Osu players started going crazy and multiple peeps started buying it. And that's pretty much the story. Since then it's been going gangbusters, and a 3-key version called the UU was released as a cheaper alternative. Now, the main question is, how does it help the average Osu player? Like, I am a no mod 1 main. I usually don't play DT, and I am mostly focused on consistency and, well, longer maps. Like, how could it help when it's focused on speed? Well, honestly, it did help a lot. I have a weird tapping style that hasn't changed since I got a mechanical keyboard when I was 6-digit, where I tap hard on the keyboard, making sure that it fully goes down. Despite being a red switch main with my old keyboard having Odomu reds and for a while Akko air switches. So when I got Wooting, I needed to tap lightly for more speed, like you're supposed to, and well, this was just way easier to do with this keyboard, honestly, like way easier. Not only that, but the keyboard just felt responsive and tapping streams were nicer. It felt like I was actually tapping to the beat of the streams, if that makes sense, rather than just mashing keys. Maybe I was just gapped by my cheaper $20 keyboard at the time, but this just felt way better than the keyboard I used to have. Like, the quality of this keyboard is just really nice in general, and it really makes a difference. And I noticed this on day 1, so I decided to actually play the game with it, and well, I popped off. Not only was my tapping more consistent, but my speed was increased from 200 BPM to 201 BPM. Just kidding. My DT skills, finger control, and alternating became like way better after this. This definitely varies from person to person, like everyone has their own tapping styles, and most of the people I talked to had to reorganize their tapping styles in order to fully utilize the Wooting or get used to it in the first place. For me, it barely required a change, only a few mistakes here and there, and the experience has been relatively pleasant so far. Now, there's also the keyboard's usage in everyday life. How does it fare in writing a script or waking your parents up in the middle of the night? Well, really well actually, in terms of writing things down anyways. There's this remapping feature that the Wooting has, which helped me immensely. Like, the way the Wooting was originally mapped had the function key at the very bottom right. I changed the mapping for this to line up with my older keyboard more, which helped me when getting used to the keyboard. There's also the typing sound. I just love the typing sounds. Like, listen to it as I write the things I'm currently saying right now. Isn't it satisfying? There's also features like dynamic keystrokes, which in no way should you use for Osu, by the way. Per key actuation and per key rapid trigger, which helps me avoid typos, except for the S and D keys every now and again. And of course, there's a bunch of customizability when it comes to the RGB. This is what my RGB looks like, by the way. It's also an analog keyboard, so playing other games with it, like racing games, works really, really well with it. Now, onto the pressing question. Should you buy it? Well, personally, I recommend it, but also beware that this keyboard would set you back $175. So if you want the full keyboard experience and you have the money, go for it. But if you want a cheaper alternative to the Wooting with rapid trigger, you can go for the Wooting as well. But always remember, this keyboard won't instantly get you to the top 50 or anything like that. It's just a thing that helps you play the game either better or even worse in some cases. So always think twice before you buy this keyboard or any other keyboard in general, or you might regret it, as one's experiences don't always match up with the others. There are also cheaper alternatives like the Sayo device keypad, or something from the random Chinese shops, Alibaba, Lazada, or something like that, but they are cheaper alternatives for a reason. They can sacrifice on quality, unlike the Wooting, which goes through a lot of checks before actually getting shipped out. So, how much do I rate this keyboard? A solid 9.5 out of 10. There are still problems with its shipping and support, but that's not the keyboard's fault, and it doesn't take away from the fact that it is a solid keyboard with things that help out the quality of life experience, and also because it helped me break 4 curses in one day. So yeah, I recommend it, but just remember, once again, it will not boost you to the top 50, unless if you're like number 51 or something, and it may not help you at all, so just remember that before buying this $175 keyboard or the $50 Thanks for watching this video of Osu Tech Quickie, and if you enjoyed this video, watch this one next and subscribe for more history or opinion piece videos like this, and hey, check out our Discord server and hang out with us. See you next time.